now that I've painted my van, it's time to put it all back together. I'm gonna let the paint sit, like I said, for a while, a few more days. But there's plenty of other stuff to do to the van. So this is like a variety episode. It's gonna be fun. Thanks for tuning in. I found 2 spots on my trailer wiring that are disintegrated. Just turned into a green powder. So I'm gonna fix those real quick and then kind of just tape all this up nicely. I ended up cutting out all of this because the wire was just black and burnt. And then this red one is hot, even with the van off, because I touched it to my muffler by accident. But now it's like significantly shorter. I could add wire, but what I'm gonna do, because this is like 900 feet longer than it needs to be, and I'm putting a trailer hitch right here. So I'm gonna take this and install it up high like that. And also like 14 pounds of dirt came out of this split loom here. So I'm glad I noticed this and fixed it up while I'm under here. I ended up finding 2 more that were like that. So I fixed those, and I got this kind of goofy looking pile of tape and zip ties and stuff going on here, but I got it up higher away from the frame so I can get a trailer hitch in there. That's the ground. I might have to relocate that. Probably needs to be cleaned and redone anyway. I took the muffler hanger off so I could get the wire up above that, since I already butt connectored it all together and all that, but that's better, you know. Now I have taillight insecurities because these were pretty rough. But that's okay. That's just a project for another day. I might end up cutting all of this up and just splicing in new wire and making it 17 feet shorter, because I think if you look at the end of the frame rail right here, they torched it off, like. So I think the cutaway van came with a really long frame, and you could have the extended, just longer whatever, and then Morgan, after they fitted the box on this thing, they just kind of hacked the end of the frame off there. So, but another thing I'm gonna do under here is paint this muffler. I already wire wheeled it just to clean it up and get the dirt and rust off, but I hate this muffler. It's, you know, it's huge. It's just kind of like in your face, and it's also in my way when it comes to servicing the differential, which I'm about to do in a separate video here in a minute. And I'm probably gonna have to move my diesel heater exhaust for this trailer hitch, which is fine. I actually bought a longer tailpipe for it, so I'm gonna get it just over here, out of the way. But I'm just gonna spray paint this muffler black, flat black with barbecue paint, and the tailpipe, and then I'm gonna get a chrome tip. I've got black barbecue paint, but I don't have a whole lot. I don't think I can do the whole muffler. So I'm just gonna kind of try and do what you can see from behind the van. Let's see if it looks any better. I'm gonna do the tailpipe too. I just ran out of paint, but you'll see that later in this video. I got this hitch from a friend of mine for free. It's like brand new. But I just tried to fit it and it's too narrow for the van frame, which is a huge bummer. I'm either gonna buy a hitch or just not even have one at the moment. We'll see. It's I bought a swing away hitch carrier thing too. I was intending on having extra storage. I might still, we'll see though. Alright, so what I got here is the mounting brackets from the old U-Haul bumper. And I actually saved these so I could fab my own rear bumper, but then I decided I wanted a hitch. This is the bracket off the new hitch. And if you line these up, these bolt holes line up. And one of the back ones I could get in here. I'm gonna have to drill out this piece though. But these fit on the frame. I mean, they came off of it. It would make the hitch pretty low, but not any lower than this giant muffler. So I think I can make this work actually. And then what I can do to make the hitch not too narrow is just flip these brackets, because the way that it was set up, at least the way my friend had it bolted to his Dodge Ram, it was like that. But if I just swap the sides, so this would actually, this one would actually be on this side, like this, over here, then it should work. But what I need to do is go over to, I'm gonna grab a bucket because I've got all the old bolts from that bumper way down there by the dumpster. So I'm gonna go digging for bolts now. I just walked through a thick spider web. Okay, all the bolts should be like right over here somewhere. I had them in like my angle grinder box. Aha! Look at that. Giant pile of bolts covered with leaves and like a year's worth of nature. But this is what I need, a bunch of these guys. Alright, it's like almost 2 in the morning, but I got updates. First of all, I got bit in the face by a mosquito, so I shut the door. The hitch, totally doable. I got the old brackets from the step bumper on, and I left the other brackets off for now that actually tie the end of the box into the frame, because this is all coming right back off anyway. I gotta drill holes and stuff. The hitch works, but it's way too low. I did not put a lift on my van so I could have a frickin' tail dragger back here. But what I'm thinking is I can flip these brackets and mount them on top of these brackets and then mount the hitch up here, which would be perfect. The only thing I'm gonna have to do is modify this. I'm gonna have to cut out the back of the frickin', and this is just like a, it's not even really structural, it's just kind of a like apron, I guess you could say. This piece here That's the structural part. So that's kind of the plan right now. I'm gonna have to drill a hole in the old bumper bracket for the back of the hitch bracket and cut out that. So we're kind of taking the long way home here, but it's actually gonna work. And this hitch should be well, about here, which would be perfect. Kind of basically in line with the frame of the van, which is kind of what you want anyway. I'm not towing with this van. I have, actually. I did tow my Trans Am with this after I bought it. But, yeah, that's where we're at. It's 2 in the morning, but I'm installing a hitch on my van. This is either genius or a really bad idea, but I'm about to hack my van up. This is such a bad idea, but I'm doing it anyway. Okay. Now those two holes line up, but I gotta go back like way more. Oh, here we go. Yeah. There we go. I did not cut that hole right where I needed it though. Cut some more. Yeah. There we go. This is doable. Yeah, I cut that out way too big. Burning my beard off. There we go. That's more better. Where's my washer at? There's one. Okay. What am I doing? Go over here with it. Yeah. Okay, now I gotta cut up the hitch brackets because the C notch in them, it doesn't like this. I can put it on upside down, but it looks ridiculous. So what I gotta do is come in here and bzzzt on that that one. Kind of ridiculous, and I'm gonna have to drill all new holes. Well, not all new, but or try to go on the other side of the bracket, but I don't know if I can get them spread apart enough, because we're kind of like, you know, kind of bottomed out already here. It worked before that way when I had it above this, but then back here, this little, I can't get my phone in there, this little guy way at the back hits the frame. So I can either chop that little nib off back there and then try to mount the bracket on top, which would really make it even better, and then try to do it that way, or either way the holes ain't gonna line up on this hitch bracket, so I'll think about it. Check this out. This was ridiculous. We got a hitch. I had to cut and modify everything. Notch these out here. I had to hack off the back of the hitch brackets themselves and then notch the van frame. And the reason I cut the back of the hitch brackets off is so I wouldn't have to notch the frame back here in the vicinity of the rear leaf spring shackle mount, and it wouldn't have, this wouldn't have like been supported with anything anyway. So now I have to drill, I have to remount that hole on both sides, drill a hole there, and then drill a big old hole for that, like right here on both sides. But I am going to bed. I gotta lower the van back down on its wheels so I can sleep, because it's, you know, not level at all. And I disconnected my diesel heater exhaust because it would have just been blowing straight at the hitch. But I'm gonna put this like way over here now. It's gonna be coming out. I have like a 60-inch long piece of this tubing here now, so I can put this wherever I want. But victory! We have a hitch. Also, the little $15 grinder is like hot enough to burn. And things, it's on its last leg, and it's like, it makes more noise now. Got another can of grill paint. Gonna do the tailpipe. I think I like the Krylon better. The Rust-Oleum's like too flat. You know, there's the Krylon and then there's the, but oh well, it'll do. Looks better than it did. My next step is to mark out all these holes where I need to drill. It's just these couple here on each side, and then back here. I don't even know if I can get a paint marker in there. I gotta drill both sides back here. And then I'll paint everything and then reassemble. Then we'll have a hitch, and then I'll move on to relocating my diesel heater exhaust. Can't get a paint marker in there, so what I'm gonna do is just do a little tractor paint. That'll tell me exactly where to make my holes. Alright, this is going to take me like 6 hours and 3 DeWalt batteries. I'm starting with these because the metal's thinner, but see how long it takes to drill all these holes out. Almost an hour later, that's done. The part that took the longest was the wallering out of the holes that were next to each other. This one here, I'd end up drilling 2 holes and then cut out the gap between, but I got it all done. I'm gonna take the 2 old bumper brackets and clean them up and paint them now. And then while that paint's drying, I think I'm gonna paint the back of the van. Okay, so I've painted the bottom of the box on both sides with the same tractor paint that I already mixed up with thinner and everything to paint the cab with. And then I kind of went around these bolts everywhere just to cover up the seam sealer that turned yellow. And I went around this window as well. I mean, from when you're up close on it, it's obvious, but I'm not going for perfection on the box. And then I went and did just the sides of the trunk in white. And I've got plenty of that tractor paint, so I'm going to go ahead and do up here. And I got to clean that before I paint any of it. And then I knew I had to get a little more paint in these drip rails up here. So I got up on the roof and did that. Which this tractor paint, especially after you thin it, it's great because all your paint lines, your brush strokes and stuff just kind of blend together. It smooths itself out. So I got up here and I panicked for a second because I was like, what in the heck is going on here? Is there some horrible chemical reaction happening and stuff is like bleeding out of my paint? What is this? Is it gonna keep happening? And then the thought occurred to me to look up, and it's the garage door opener. It's slinging dirt off of the chain down onto my van. So I don't know how much of that occurred as the paint was drying, but I'm going to hit it with some wax and grease remover now and just hope it all wipes off. But yeah, you know, I'm keeping the van in the shop here because the extreme heat and humidity outside. Next week is looking good though. I'm gonna be outside next week. It's in the 70s, but taking advantage of my last few days here in this shop, and I talked to my friend who owns the shop, and he's cool with me keeping the van in here while the paint cures. But yeah, garage door opener is trashing the roof of my cab, so I'm gonna hopefully just wipe all that off. But after I paint the back here, I'm gonna switch to black. I already have black paint mixed up because I've been painting stuff for days now, and well, not mixed up, but I have a brush sitting in a cup of reducer to keep the brush usable. So I'm gonna grab that and start doing all the trim. I've got plenty of like stuff that I need to do with the black paint, so I'll just show you when I'm done, because this is going to take me hours, and even on time lapse I'll go through several GoPro batteries just showing you me painting my van, stuff you've already seen me do. And then I'm going to do these areas here. The reason I primered this is because when I was sanding all the paint off of the cab, I kept hitting that with the grinder and the DA and stuff, and basically scraped all the paint off of it. And then when I was masking, just on these plastic bolt caps from the box, the paint kind of popped off of that. So I have just lots of little details to touch up, and then eventually I'm gonna buff the box just on the sides there where I haven't painted anything, just to try and kind of freshen it up, shine it up a little, hopefully make it a little more white. It doesn't really show on camera very well, but the door is nice and brand new, but the box is kind of a more yellowish color. It's just all weathered and stuff, but I think I can bring that back around with a little bit of just some buffing. And I have lots of no matter how much I tried to clean and scrape the adhesive residue off from all the decals, I still have it everywhere. So I'm just gonna spend hours with the single edge razor blade, maybe a tiny little bit of WD-40, not a lot because I don't want to mess up my fresh paint down below, but I'm gonna try and get all of that off. And I just really want to totally detail and perfect the exterior appearance of this van, and then I'm gonna just go drive it down dirt roads and get it all filthy. But we're gonna start fresh. So it all just immediately melted right off as soon as I hit it with the wax and grease remover, but there are some permanent spots. So just a little bit of work in the garage door, and that's just a smear, but just a little bit of work in the garage door opener with the paint still fresh on here kind of ruined that, but that's okay. It's just the roof. Well, that took an exceptionally long time, but as you can see, I've gone around and touched up all the black trim. It's fresh, it's still drying, but I think when it dries and gets a little dust on it, it'll all blend in just nice. And then back here, this looks 100 times better. Looks just like the day I did all this work. Before I cut out all the caulk and redid it, and then it turned yellow and got dirt stuck to it. I still need to do these doors. I mean, they don't need done, but I'm gonna do them. But I'm pretty low on the white tractor paint. I got a little bit of that, and I got a little bit of the exterior house paint that I painted these with originally. So I'm just gonna wait and do them some other day. But so for the most part, other than what I mentioned earlier about cleaning off all the adhesive residue and buffing on it, the box is pretty much done. It's been hot and muggy all day, but I'm gonna go ahead and pop the door open about 4 or 5 feet just so I can get a little bit more light and room back here, and I'm gonna get this trailer hitch back on. I might throw a towel or something on the roof though, the damn garage door opener. That black exhaust looks way better. It's just clean and it's not obvious, you know. This should go pretty quick since I've already assembled this 19 times. I am adding the extra brackets that secure the back of the box to it though. And everything is 3/4. That's the wrong side. Come here. Okay. Oh, you know what? It goes like that. That was the right side. 'Cause these go. How do these go? Maybe that was right. I'm a little confused at the moment. I believe that's what we're doing. Something like that. Oh yeah, that's how she goes. That? No. No. How in the heck? I said this would go quick and easy because I've done it a million times. Now I can't remember where it bolts to. Man, it got dark fast. Winter must be coming. Come on. Come on. Deep hitch. Okay. There we go. There you go. Good hitch. Don't be a wicked hitch, be a good hitch. Getting hitched. Yeah, right. I don't care how cool her dad is. Well, where's the rest of my bolts? What? Okay. Oh. Get. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. Wait. Missing. There. Alright, I'm going to tighten down the bolts from bracket to bracket, and then I'm going to grab a little level and we'll do the actual hitch bolts last, tighten them up last. So I want to get this level. I know the van's level, at least it was. So we now have more bolts actually in than ever before on this deal, so feeling pretty good about it. I'd put Loctite on all of this, but I'm out. I got the blue stuff, but that ain't gonna do much. All right. I guess I could have inverted these for. I'm not on showing the super torque mode. Feels good. And this one can actually get to all the bolts pretty easily. That was not the case when I removed that step bumper. That thing. Alright, I'm going to put a level on it. And see. It's a magnetic level. So all the way up, basically. High as it'll go. That's how we do that. How can I hold this and then have two free hands? What if put my floor jack on it. Alright. Just gonna put a jack on. Come here, level. Oh yeah. Right there. Bolted down. She's perfect. Side real quick. Oh yeah. That's how you do it there, guys. And turn the compressor on today. That might help. Sounded like it was gasping for ooga-doogas. Yep. Yeah, baby. Just like that, we have a hitch. Oh yeah. And it has all the bolts in it. So my diesel exhaust, I need to make it longer, for one. But now it would be blowing straight at the hitch if I left it where I had it. And I'd like to just get it like over here in the corner or something. So I got this, which is way too long. I think it's like 5 feet, but it's the only one that I could find. But there's a muffler too, and I don't want that hanging down or being super visible. So what I'm going to try to do is put the muffler like in line, or just not run a muffler at all, really. I don't really want like bugs and crap to build nests inside my heater exhaust, but this is got this on Amazon, of course, but it's basically a 5-foot long diesel exhaust. So I'm gonna get creative and redo my diesel exhaust and try to get it over to the corner of the van, and then I'll show you what I come up with. Okay, so this is my diesel exhaust. What we got going on here is I got the bracket from the original muffler is now mounted to the corner of the van, and then I have the original strap for the exhaust bolted to it. That's an 832 with 2 washers, and then I rammed 2 nuts together. That's just an old school trick for basically having a lock nut. Then over here we've got an existing hole that was in the frame. There's one on each side, and on the other side is where the ground for the trailer wiring goes and the tail lights and stuff. But I've got the other strap right there, same hardware setup. And then we're just running up to the diesel heater. I decided the muffler was doing absolutely nothing. It wasn't muffling anything. I got to looking at it, and yeah, it's pointless, just so you know. So yeah, that's my solution, and I'm happy with it. I think it looks pretty decent right there. I shouldn't ever scrape myself on it because it really doesn't stick out any further than like anything else on the van. If it gets beat up, I can always retract it, because I mean, this is flimsy material, or just hit it with the hacksaw, you know, kind of make it more flush. But the further out from the van it sticks out, the better. And the whole idea here is to just get the exhaust away from my van. And yeah, so there you go. I decided to use the entire length of that pipe, which ended up being just about perfect. I mean, it could be a little shorter, but not by much, maybe 6 inches less. But I will, of course, hang on to this in case I decide I do need a muffler, but I really don't think I will, but I'll keep it around. You can barely hear it. Wait till it gets to full blast here. I have it cranked up all the way, 35C, which is like frickin' 90 or something. It's running because I can smell it. Oh yeah, putting out heat and everything. Yeah, that's quiet. Oh yeah. That'll work. Inside the van, don't even hear it. Can't wait for winter time. Off. And I had some comments when I installed this. Yes, I know that when you turn it off, you need to let it cool down. So I can let it cool down and then kill the power to it. It's good to have the option to shut the power off to the main unit so you don't have parasitic draw all summer long. You know what I mean? I got one last thing to do to finish up the exhaust on the van. There's one last very important thing that I need to accomplish in this video, and it's something that everyone who wants to build this box van to live in needs to know about and address. Before I do that, let's go inside and let me show you a few improvements that I made inside the van. I bought this wire storage rack thing. It's Closet Made brand. And it's the perfect size to go behind my kitchen. And I bought it so I can just kind of utilize that space so I can really maximize every inch of the van and free up, kind of declutter my countertop. The one problem with this is it's white. I want it to be black. So I'm gonna scuff it all up with the Scotch-Brite and spray paint it real quick. As you see here, my tiny little countertop is kind of cluttered. And this little heat shield that I made here for my wood stove is perfect for driving. I can push my coffee maker, my cooking oil, my teapot, all my stuff kind of back here and it stays put. But I'm going to put that shelf, that rack, right here. It's going to take up this whole little wall area. And then I can get stuff kind of up off the counter and just free up the tiny little bit of space that I do have. I think it's going to look pretty good right there, and I just felt like this little area was kind of wasted space. And yeah, I will, you know, when I use the wood stove, I'm going to have to like take things off of that shelf so they don't get too hot, but yeah, I'm going to put it right there. Rather than mounting it to the wall, I'm going to use these things. Just in case someday I decide that I don't like that thing, I won't have permanent hole in my wall. So, you know, This should do the trick. They're only half-pound capacity each, but there's 6 of them, and I'm really only going to put a few pounds worth of crap on that thing anyway. So it did come with mounting hardware of its own, so you know, backup plan if that falls off. That is like perfect size. Looks good too. I can use the tiles to somewhat level it. Just like that. Hopefully these fit. Oh yeah, perfect. Perfect. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get 2 of them on. And then I want it kind of to the left so that like I got a switch right here I need to be able to get to and stuff. Okay, that's straight. Okay. I'm getting it. There. The shelf is mounted. A couple other things that have been bothering me is I put butyl tape under this induction stove because it told me to, and it sits up too high. I don't like it. And there was a rubber gasket around the sink, and it was a pain in the ass. It kept like coming off and moving around, so finally I just ripped it off. So now the sink is not sealed. Water can get under there. So what I think I'm gonna do is try to gently cut this butyl tape and get this stove up and out of here, and then disconnect the sink too, and then use some black silicone actually, which is insane to be using on this, but I think it'll look good, and it's high temp, waterproof, and all of that. It's basically like making a black RTV. I'm talking about like automotive, but basically I'm creating my own gasket for this, and it'll keep stuff from getting under here, and this stove should sit a good, you know, 1/8 of an inch lower than it does. So I'm gonna try that. The butyl tape is a great seal. I mean, I can see why they recommended doing that, but it sits up way too high now. It's pretty annoying. There we go. What a mess. I should have never did this. Better to fix it now than to live with it and let it drive me nuts forever. Actually bought a roll of butyl tape for this because I was out, but that's something I wanted to have anyway, especially like in my van repairs toolkit that I'm gonna make. So this stuff here is the just the regular general purpose Permatex black. It's not the like engine gasket maker. Similar, but not the same. It's just a general purpose. Use it for anything, like gluing your cooktop into your countertop. So I'm going to put a bead around the hole, but I'll probably have to put more around the edge of the stove to seal the gap, because the stove overhangs the hole like half an inch or something. Okay, I gotta make sure it's straightish. For that, I just look at the edges of the counter. Oh yeah, I like it better already. It's not sticking up frickin'. Oops. Alright, well, I'll think about doing that to the sink, but I was able to lower the stove down a decent amount. I did the sink too. Over here though, I just used an acrylic urethane caulk. It's black as well. Just a really fine line. And I tightened the clamps. I'm not totally in love with this sink. I love the stove. But the sink, it's just really hard to keep this lid clean. And it's already super scratched up. So it's kind of a housekeeping pain in the ass, honestly. I mean, it's a nice functional sink, but just the lid. I wish I had just like it's like same material as the countertop, like a filler plug or something, or like butcher block kind of thing. But it is what it is. But now I'm pretty happy with it. It's sealed up and both items are as flush with the counter as possible. There's no extra like height or gasket or any BS to deal with. So that's as good as it's gonna get. Another little improvement I want to make to the van is these. I have a third remote now for my TV tuner. And this one, I don't like how close it is now to the shade. It's just, I don't like it. And it's bigger. So what I want to do is kind of go like that with them, you know, just move them over. Keep this one right here, but basically just doing some Velcro things. And then also the little display guy, the little receiver for my TV tuner, it fell off, but I don't like where I put it anyway. It's actually got a little clock on it. It's kind of neat, but as soon as I turn off my inverter, you know, it loses its time setting. It doesn't have like, it's got flash memory, so it memorizes the channels, but it doesn't keep time when the power's off. So and with the TV off but powered up, like if the TV has power, then the USBs on the back of the TV have power, like at all times. So as soon as I turn my inverter on, the TV tuner is, and the powered antenna are always on. which is fine. But I want to move that little receiver and install it better with this clearly very sticky, good Velcro. So I'm going to keep the soundbar remote there, and then I'm going to put, I think, that one there, and then TV tuner there. Yeah, or like that. Either way. I don't think I ever showed you guys this TV mount. You pull this strap right here. It's pretty good. So this guy, it's just got a little, it came with like double-sided mounting tape, and it just fell off. Probably when I left my van in the 1,000-degree heat of wonderful Nebraska. I actually really love Nebraska for 2 months out of the year. Especially the kind of northwestern quadrant of the state. The Sand Hills and the Panhandle. But there's a pretty good reason van life is not a thing around here. The weather is a nightmare. Okay. Oh yeah, that's not bad. I mean, it sucks that it's off center, but it'll be fine. I have a high performance 3 gigahertz 3-foot piece of coax because this TV antenna came with a like 20-foot long cable, and it works fine, and there's really no reason to change it, but just for the sake of not having a 20-foot long piece of coax just living in my cabinet, I decided to spend the like $3 at Menards on a short one. I'm kind of a perfectionist. And you would think that like signal loss or something, with it being a powered antenna, see, that's, I'm gonna replace this with, because that makes sense, right? What I was saying is it's a powered antenna, but it just has a little tiny USB power, like 5 volts at 1 amp. So you would think, at least I would think, that if you knock off like 15 feet of wire, then the power should, you know, there's like voltage drop and stuff, right? Maybe I'm wrong here. I don't know. But this is what I'm doing. Trying to do it without pulling all my clothes out of the... There. Wouldn't think you'd need a special wire for a powered antenna, right? I guess I'll find out here in 2 seconds when I try to watch TV with it. Okay, does it still work? That is the question.
It's a sizable gratuity.
It works.
The service was impeccable.
Look, lady, everybody's got problems. I got rent on this place, a mortgage, a wife, 3 kids, and a Shih Tzu with a recurring gastrointestinal condition that requires a very specialized diet, all right?
Hey.
I love that guy. Alright. It's the little things in life, you know? The van gets better every time I work on it. So like here's the exhaust. You know, you got your catalytic converters, and then it goes down into, you know, it ain't dual exhaust, oh well. But there's your floor, you know. There's your plywood floor of your box. And if you get up to the cab, there's a heat shield above the exhaust there. But once you get past the cab, see, there's the end of the cab, there's the box. It's just plywood. So all this heat from your exhaust is it's making your floor super hot, you know? So if you decide to live in one of these vans, something that it wasn't built, you know, for, it's not its intended purpose, then you have to do something about that. Otherwise, after you drive your van, your floor is going to be extremely hot. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's just a moving van or a delivery van or something, but if it's, you know, your living space. So I have another roll of this reflective heat stuff that I used around my wood stove, and I was so impressed with it around there that I think it'll do great under here, assuming that it stays stuck to the van. This is actually its intended purpose is for like an automotive heat shield for exhaust or under your hood or, you know, something like that. And this one's actually a different color, but same stuff. It's like a thin fiberglass mat with a thermal reflective barrier thing on it. So as long as it stays stuck, I'm gonna, and assuming I can get it in there, I'm going to attempt to just stick it to the bottom of the floor above the exhaust, pretty much the whole length of the van until I run out. This isn't, I've got this much, so, but yeah, it's pretty important. Just driving across town from where I'm staying to the shop, it gets the floor pretty hot. So I could only imagine if you're road tripping for several hours, you know, how hot it would make the living area of your van. Plus, I keep the cats food and water like right there, so I don't want, you know, that getting cooked. But all right, so I really can't get a good camera angle to show you exactly what's going on here. If you have one of these box fans, though, you really need to address this issue. What I'm going to do is use one of my auto body tack cloths, which I think is a perfect, this is a perfect like scenario for that. And I'm going to wipe the bottom of the floor to get all the loose dust off to help the stuff stick better, you know? It's actually pretty clean looking up under here, but you know, whatever I can get to, I'll just hit with the tack cloth. I wish they would have just did this, you know, before they put the box on. I'd love to tour Morgan's factory. See how they build these things, you know, that'd be pretty sweet. This ain't gonna be too bad, actually. Once you get past this first little section, I can really get my arms up in here, no problem. Last time I used this stuff, I determined that razor blade was the easiest way to cut it. Okay, and I'm gonna just peel like a corner. Yeah, now I remember, it's hard to peel. And the hardest part about peel and stick is the peeling, always. Okay. There we go. I'm gonna try to be like strategic here, since I don't have like a lot of this stuff. There we go. Oh yeah. Perfect. And then right here we're gonna go long ways. Go. A little crooked, but it's where it needs to be anyway. Oh yeah, feeling good about this. think it'll stay on forever. It's stuck pretty good. Stuff's super easy to work with. Even in this situation where you can barely get your arms in there. Alright, I only got a little bit left. I guess I'll just put it here. Might have some extra from when I did my stove that I could. That's gonna make a huge difference, I'm sure of it. I've got the majority of it, and I had a little extra piece that I kind of put up there above the cats. Alright, that was it. It's kind of a variety episode, and it's just because I have all these little things to do to finish the van. I'm kind of just getting it all buttoned up and put back together. I'm gonna tint my windows, start cleaning and painting all the trim and everything on the van, the mirrors, all of that, get that all put back together. And then we have one more day of extreme heat, and then the weather's supposed to get good. So then I'm gonna wet sand and buff the van, get the bumper, grill, headlights, and the sweet new wheels on, and show you like the grand reveal of what this thing's gonna look like. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Have a great week, and I'll see you later.